All right. Meta Connect just ended. And we need to talk about it. So, Meta Connect, formerly known as Oculus Connect, and it has been for years. And this is the first time in a, Connect scenario that we have not had anything about VR or headsets. And it makes me sad that it's just reiterated that Oculus is dead. Bro, it's dead. And it's sad. As someone who is like a VR focused person in terms of like, what in the metaverse or whatever, like in terms of like XR, AR, MR or whatever, I am particularly fond of VR. And as someone that has watched these Connects for years, it's sad to see a Connect that has nothing to do with VR at all. With that being said, it was actually pretty cool. Unfortunately, the display glasses were leaked beforehand, which is extremely annoying. I'm so sick of leaks, so sick of it. Like, let's just enjoy the moment together without having to know something. Like, we don't need to know what's coming. Let's just live in the moment. Let's be excited that we're there and watching. I watched it in VR. I watched it in virtual reality. And it's just like, that would have been such a cool moment for that to come out and like nobody know about it. That's neither here nor there. That's a whole nother story. But they announced 3 new products. Well, technically 4 new products. They have new refreshed versions of the Meta Ray-Bans. They have the Meta Oakleys, which are basically just, battery updates, whatever. Live AI that's coming into all of the other headsets, which is actually pretty cool. And the Meta, are they Ray-Bans? I don't actually remember, but they're like the visored, like, what is that word? Where it's polarizing. They're the polarizing, like wide visor polarizers. And those actually look pretty cool. And everything that they showed off, those 3, pretty solid price. I can't lie. I think it was like $379 for those. For the original Ray-Bans, and then I think it was $499 for the visors. With the technology that's in there, I actually think it's a fair price. But the one thing that was the most exciting was the thing that got leaked. But they are essentially just the Orions made into a product, which is insane to think that just last year they announced the Orion prototype and they already have the consumer product ready to go. And it was actually hilarious. None of the demos went well. None of them. They tried to do a live AI demo with somebody cooking food. It didn't work. They tried to do a video call on the glasses. It didn't work. It was hilarious. But they're pretty cool. And to see the advancements, or how quick they advanced to make the Orion into a consumer product that fast, is kind of nuts. So with those, now the one thing I was most excited for is he came out, he had something on his wrist. What was on his wrist was I think it was the neural band. That thing has me the most excited. That's the most exciting product that Meta has been talking about, other than like, you know, their VR headsets and stuff, that I'm excited about. It gives feedback via electrical pulses in your arm. So the glasses and the neural band come together in a package that is $7.99, which to me, with the technology that's in it, it's a pretty solid fucking price. Like, I'm not even that mad. And truthfully, I kind of want them, and I might pick them up. I'm not gonna lie, I might pick them up, just to see, because this is one of those. This was the race to market, right? Like everyone, in terms of augmented reality and, well, just augmented reality, really. This is what they were racing to get to. Glasses form factor, which has already been done. Screens, in-lens screens, which has been done, but it has always been attached to a phone. You had attached to a phone, had attached to a device. And they were in a package that wasn't necessarily the most glamorous, right? Like those, they didn't look great. And these also have Meta's Live AI, which, but all of it is in one package that is, I would say, kind of obtainable to the public. I mean, $7.99 is a lot in terms of like dollars, but in reference to like that technology range, $7.99 is not bad. The only problem, I wear glasses. So that's a little interesting situation. But the neural band, he showed out of all the hijinks, out of all the things that went wrong, and I have to respect, everything was live. They did everything live, and you could tell that it was live, and I respect them for that. Nothing was like, you know, the perfect lighting, the perfect environment. Like there's no static noise anywhere else. You know what I mean? It's not like in a closed room environment. So I have to give them props for that. You just have to give them props. There's no way around it. But there was one thing that I thought was so cool. He had the wristband on, right? And typing, right? You could go here, you can do this little, you know, he was doing these little motions or whatever. And you can use dictation, you can click it and then, you know, speak out your sentence. But the one thing he did is he did this. He went into like some like writing mode and then started writing. And it typed out what he was writing. That was so cool to me. That was probably one of the coolest things I have seen, and one of the things that has made me most excited about this whole, you know, XR, MR kind of platform and UI situation, because I feel like we have stagnated in terms of input methods in VR, MR, XR, the whole range, all right? And this is the first real step into a new type of input that is mass marketed and consumerly available. Consumerly available? Is that a word? I don't know, whatever. You get what I'm saying. And this really, I have to give it to Meta. They, again, are first to market with a consumer product that the public can get, and it's good. It's good. The Quest 3, Quest 2, Quest 1. Well, we'll start with the Quest 2 because that's like fully Meta. I mean, I don't know. I really wish we would have gotten any information on like a new Quest. But in terms of a Kinect that has nothing to do with VR, Meta actually showed some really cool stuff. because last year the big ticket item was the Orion prototype, and in a year, 1 year, they go from prototype to mass market. You got to give it to them. A win is a win. A win is a win. So, in like 1 to 10, what do I give? Honestly, if we're taking my personal feelings out of it, the actual what they showed, what they have to offer, price ranges, honestly, 7 out of 10. Maybe even a 7.5. It wasn't a bad Connect. They had some really cool stuff. The Meta display glasses are really, really cool, very innovative. Some of the specs that they have on them, really, really great. Oh no, I actually forgot. No, actually, I think I will give this an 8 out of 10. I think I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10 because the section that should have been VR was about content. And they are really trying to capture that Apple-esque ecosystem in terms of they make their own engine. They've made their own engine now. They have their own, what was it? It was the engine and something else. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it had to do with the engine. It was about building worlds and making content. Now they have Horizon TV, which during the keynote, they had my favorite and honestly the GOAT of directors, James Cameron, come on there and talk about his philosophy in terms of technology and content consuming, essentially. It made my respect for James Cameron go up even more and kind of bolstered the strength that Meta has in terms of like having your content on your face. The way James Cameron was talking about how long his life has been and the revolutions he's seen in terms of content consuming, because he honestly is the godfather of digital, what did he call it? It was like digital films and movie theaters, and 3D movies. So he was a big 3D person and still is. And the way he talked about, he kind of gave away, I guess Meta has some sports UIs that are coming out that are pretty interesting because they have Disney Plus. They have acquired the rights to have Disney Plus on their platform, which is pretty huge, all things considered. And this is a really big push forward in terms of consuming content with something on your face. To put it in layman's terms. And Meta getting partnered with James Cameron and Blumhouse, the horror film studio, they have the possibility to make some really good content that is only watchable while wearing something on your face in 3D. Because the way he talked about it was your like visceral reactions to something that is flat and versus something that's in 3D or in VR is, he said, in his best judgment, because there's no real metrics and it's, fairly subjective, you have like a 20% more engagement into the content when it is in 3D. So, I don't know. I definitely got to give it an 8 out of 10. Definitely an 8 out of 10. I'm excited for the direction that Meta is going because they have the opportunity to obviously make a lot of money in this glasses form factor, smart glasses market. And really, they're kind of kicking the shit out of everyone else. And, all things considered, and the only way to say it. But this allows them to take those prototypes in VR that they have had for a long time and are really, really good prototypes. And it allows them to make money over here with the smart glasses and then use some of that money into those VR headsets. And that's what I'm hoping, because obviously this year has been we're gonna bet it all on the Orion prototype and getting the Meta display glasses out, and they did, and it's impressive. I cannot lie. I'm gonna try to get my hands on them for sure. The trip to Japan is taking a large chunk of the funds for a while, but I'm gonna try to get them. I think this is one of those pieces of technology that is the first of the revolution. I think, and I don't even think the Quest was it. Or even I think the Vision Pro was close, but I think what Meta is developing with their small form factor, with the puck, whatever that like Quest 2 or Quest Pro 2 thing is what most people are kind of thinking it is. I think Meta they knocked it out of the park with the smart glasses. They did it last year with Orion. Now they have an actual product. I think maybe next year we see, hey, this is Quest Pro 2. We have a little bit to go, but here it is. But that small form factor, think big screen beyond, this is for my VR people, think big screen beyond size, standalone, but it's connected to a puck like the Apple Vision Pro. Because I actually think, and I agree with Thrill Seeker, he said this in one of his videos a while ago, that I genuinely think the sweet spot for mass public adoption of VR is going to be small form factor, like the big screen beyond, that size. It could even be a little bigger, honestly, and not really be an issue. And make it standalone, but it's tethered to a computing puck. Because we already have our phone in our pocket. Now, if we want to get to a spot where smart glasses and that whole form factor take place of our phones, I think the logical next step is putting that headset on with that phone type computing in your pocket. It's a similar feeling. It doesn't feel different than most, and it can even have a screen. You know what I mean? Like, it can even have a screen on it. I don't know why you would, but whatever. But to have that puck in your pocket and that size, to get the resolution and the nits that you would need and the FOV, I think that is where the sweet spot lies. For now, until obviously technology gets small enough, but we're far from that. So I think Meta killed a standalone VR. I think that's a fair point. They did a lot for it, then they shot themselves in the foot. But it all had to do with content. It wasn't enough. Wasn't enough enjoyable. There's a shit ton of content for VR, but they gave it life and then they took it away. But with these glasses, I think this is their first home run. if it works, right? There's a chance that it might just be dog shit. But if the Orions or any sort of indication that they have a good product, then the Meta display glasses, they're going to do great. And depending on who we see wear them, because Meta still has that like stigma about them. So we'll see who wears them or who they can pay to get to wear them. And if it is a hit, then I think they may have two early to market great products with the display glasses and then this, small form factor connected to a puck design. I'm excited. It's weird to say that I'm excited for what Meta's going to do. And really, since the Quest 3, haven't really been excited, to be honest. Quest 3 was actually great, but there hasn't been much other than like, oh, we have some cool development. And it is cool. And what they're doing is the right thing to do. Like the research they're doing to put all of that. Like they're on the right track. We just haven't seen any fruits of the labor until today. But it was on the smart glasses side with the display glasses. So yeah, I mean, we have to wait a whole nother year for any sort of, announcement for a VR headset. But in terms of this year, Meta Connect 2025, 8 out of 10. Really cool products with the display glasses and the neural band. All for a package of $799. I mean, they did a good job of price ranging the whole line, because all of them have similar features in a way. And I think 329 or 2 something. I don't remember what this, like, you have the low end version, not low end, but the low price option, the Oakleys, which are just, Oakley priced. Then the visors, which have like more battery, things like that. And they're water resistant, which was cool. And then you have obviously the display glasses at the top end. I don't know. It was a good keynote. It wasn't like, whoa, but it was a good keynote. It was the first time Meta seemed confident in what they were doing, even though all of their shit just went haywire. So yeah, that is pretty much all my thoughts on Meta Connect 2025. It was cool. The glasses stuff was neat, and I'm maybe not excited. I don't know. I am kind of excited. I'm excited to see where it goes, because if that succeeds, the VR side exceeds. Reality Labs succeeds. So, well, I mean, I guess it's the same company. I think it's all under Boz anyway. But a rising tide lifts all ships. And that's what I'm hoping with these glasses, even though I do want the glasses myself. I mean, they are really cool. So, yeah, if you watched it, let me know what you think about it in the comments. And let's yap about it, because this is pretty cool. It's pretty cool shit. So, I'll catch you on the next one. Appreciate you listening. And, yeah, we'll catch you on the next one. See you.